What's up, y'all? It's your girl Key, and right now you are tuning in to Do Over Do.
How I come in just so effortless. I got you hooked, I know you wonder how I jig and finesse. The truth is everything I do, I never do to impress. Somehow I kinda find out words to express, but I digress. Big stunner and I'm styling. I heard it make diamonds, so it's pressure I'm applying. Keep putting in work, so this money start compiling. Until there's assets to my family, I'm providing. Oh, you know I'm tough, bitch, and you don't wanna get fucked with.
Welcome back to Pink World, episode 19. We have a special guest today, Key. Welcome.
Welcome, Key.
How y'all doing today?
Good.
How are you?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great.
You know? Hell yeah.
Good. The hair is giving vibrant. I love it.
Literally. It's a bunch of blue vibes I'm feeling.
Everybody needs a little bit of color in their life.
That's facts.
I always recommend.
Me too. Every day.
I know.
Every
She's
day.
the more colorful one.
You wouldn't know today
yeah,
because I'm
literally.
all black, but I literally always am like mad colorful too.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel you.
Yeah.
She's been feeling her blues too lately. You saw her nails?
Yeah, I did.
We were talking about that earlier. I was like, oh, they match.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into it. So, Key, what do you do?
I am a artist based out of Boston, Massachusetts. Right now, I primarily focus in rapping and making music, but I modeled before. I made music. I love interior design. I paint. I do fashion. I do a whole bunch of different artistic mediums, but right now I'm mostly known for my music creation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very versatile.
Yes.
Love it.
I like the interior design too.
Right?
Yeah, I was
We were
talking
talking about
like
it earlier.
the studio is like dope. It's my first time here, so it like
Yeah.
piqued my interest like immediately. I
All
was
the
like,
color
whoa,
too. Yeah. So where did you grow up? I know you said you're based in Boston, but where specifically?
Yeah, I grew up in Dorchester, Massachusetts, which is in Boston. There's a whole bunch of surrounding communities like Mattapan, Roxbury, Hyde Park, things like that. But yeah, I grew up in Dorchester, so I did a lot of moving around as a kid. Like I don't have like a one home that was,
I feel
raised
you.
in.
Yeah, I also feel you.
So like mainly if people are familiar in the Common Square area off of Washington Street, so that's where I am from.
Dope. What was your early life like before like getting into music and everything? I know you mentioned you were modeling before. I just wanted to kind of see like where all that started, if you remember.
Yeah. So life for me, I lived in a split household. So when I was really young, when I was born, my parents were married, and then at some point, a couple years into me being on this earth, they had divorced. So I was going back between my mother and my father's house. And then when I was like 9, I started living with my dad permanently for a little bit, and then visiting my mom on the weekends. So I would say my upbringing was like all over the place.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say like I had a bad childhood. I was one of those like oblivious kids. Like my parents tried to keep me out of trouble and just like stimulated in a positive way. Especially growing up in Boston, there was a lot of just a lot going on in the community. Just like in any hood, whether you're in Boston, New York, things like that. But I was always a very creative kid, so I would write like poems and like little songs and jingles in like this little notebook that I had when I was younger. I was really, really like interested in dance. I was always like the little kid at the parties where they're like, do that little dance.
Yeah.
Show auntie your dance.
You know, exactly. So going into high school, I actually joined a dance team for the first time. And eventually by my senior year, I was a co-captain of that dance team. And then I was also on the step team as well.
That's dope.
And then I remember probably once I graduated, I had joined this team called Imperfectly Perfect Dance Troupe.
Okay.
And we did like a competition, and we won. And then after that, I just stopped dancing. I was just kind of going through life as a college student. I went to Northeastern.
Wow.
For my first year, but not like I got accepted into North. It was a program.
It's still
okay.
Like because
You were still on the campus?
yeah, I was still on the campus, and I'm so blessed that I got the opportunity because, like I said, I was like raised pretty scattered, and that really like my home life impacted like my academic performance like heavily.
Yep.
Like I started off being like an honor roll student, going into like C's and D's and F's and like, you know, I feel like besides my grade, I don't know if it was my test scores or everything else besides my GPA that allowed me to even get into this program at Northeastern, but that's literally the only thing I got into accepted to. I probably applied to like 10 colleges and I didn't get in. So after that, I was just going to Northeastern for the program, working full time. Once it came to the end of my freshman year, like you had to transfer. You could apply back into the school of Northeastern, but my grade still wasn't high enough to do that. So I just went to a community college.
What community college?
Roxbury Community College.
Okay. We fuck with community college.
Yeah, you know.
Heavy over here on this
like,
side, yeah.
Especially because I don't come from like a wealthy background. So for me, it just didn't make sense to take out loans to transfer into a school that I don't really even know if like what I want to do. Like I'm just wasting my time and a whole bunch of money that I don't have on something that's not even I can't even guarantee for myself.
Exactly.
So community college seemed like the best option, and then COVID happened, and I was a liberal arts major.
Yeah, I was just taking, for a bit too.
Yeah, you know how that goes. Like you're just taking like
bullshit classes.
Yeah. So I'm taking a painting class over the internet, like
over the internet. Is crazy, bro.
Didn't make sense. So I just, after that spring in 2020, I never went back, and I was just working full time once like we could start working.
Yeah.
But over that summer, I was just like smoking, like taking walks, trying to get outside of my house. Like I was not in a good headspace during that time.
During COVID, right?
Yeah.
So summer 2020.
Because we were talking, and I'm extroverted too. So a lot of like the fun things I like to do, I like spending time with people, like going to places, and you couldn't do that. So I was just like,
dude, what am I supposed to do with myself?
Like, you know, and I'm not like, but I feel like me being an artist now, I'm more on social media than I was before. I wouldn't like, it was just boring.
It is.
So I would just be smoking, taking walks by this pond by my house, and I just started making music. And
so that's when it started.
Yeah. I mean, in high school, I would smoke after school and like freestyle with my friends in the car and stuff. So it's always like been there. I was just like, let me just start doing that again for myself. And then I made some like choruses to some songs, and I would show like my friends and my family, and they're like, oh, this is dope. And I'm like, fire. Do you really think this is dope? Right. Are you capping to me?
Yeah.
But I was like, whether you're capping to me or not, I want to hear these songs. So I just found a studio in Quincy, actually.
Okay.
It's called I'm blanking. Why am I blanking? The Mix Loft.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yes, and then I just recorded the songs, put them on SoundCloud, decided I want to make a project, and I put out a project in 2021 of July, and now I'm here.
Yes, sir.
You know? So it started as an outlet, which I mean, I guess it probably does for a lot of people. So it's kind of crazy how it turned into such a big thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you feel like it was like going from like, because you did like modeling and stuff too, right? Like how was that transition? Like, and is it still like a passion of yours?
So if I remember correctly, I started modeling at the end of 2020.
Okay.
And how that happened was a photographer had contacted me just looking like for someone to like model, and I was like, I would be open to this. I've never modeled before, but I was hesitant on taking the opportunity because I've never seen myself in that light. I would never even post pictures on Instagram because I was more of like a Snapchat like personality videos type of person, you know?
That ass.
But I ended up like just saying like fuck it, like what's the worst that can happen? And the photographer I worked with was so like pleasant to work with and so engaging and made it such a fun experience that I was like, I would love to do this again. And I did it again and again and again and again. And I started building a portfolio, and it was going pretty good for like a good amount of time. But then I started trying to branch out to other photographers, and half of the time it's like, basically, in exchange for your services, they'll give you professionally edited photos. So it's like nobody's paying for anything. And I'm like, I'm actually trying to make money from this. And unless you're in an agency, that's kind of hard. So I just was like, I love doing this, and I'm like focused, and it's taking a lot of my time, but it's not like, it needs to be more than just fun for me, and it wasn't. So I just stopped doing it. It's something that I still like have interest in doing now, but more in a different like aesthetic. Like I want to like model for local brands.
I was just gonna ask if you wanted to do like brand deals or stuff like that for modeling, mixing it with music.
Yeah, local brands. Yeah. I love rocking brands. I would love to like do a Converse campaign.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I would love to do a market campaign because they have a smiley face, and if you pay attention to any like my visuals or like my like,
it's got the little.
I just have like the little smiley face.
I gotta show you my shoes after.
Yeah,
I gotta show you.
Yeah, I would love to still do it now, but I feel like with making music, I get to do something similar like that.
Yeah.
Like my visual content like is the funnest part of like my artistry to me, because I get to quote unquote model, and I get to like do stuff behind the camera more than just taking a photo, and it brings like my personal visions to life. So yeah, of course, I do definitely still have interest in modeling and things of that nature.
Word.
So do you feel like when you started getting into like actually making music, is that kind of the same time period that you stopped with the modeling, or is there like a little gap?
Yeah, it kind of overlapped.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I realized is you can always do more than one thing, but you can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Facts.
Like with doing both, one is going to get less attention than the other. And I'm like, well, I had to make a choice.
Yeah.
And I feel like music is my calling. I feel like I didn't know it at the time, but how many people I may have impacted through my music or just my story, I want to do that. Modeling, I don't feel like that. Modeling isn't more than me. It's more of a me thing. And this music, me doing music is bigger than myself. I'm not doing music for me anymore.
Yeah.
Like, like I'm doing this, yes, for me, but I want to leave my legacy in this world. I want to inspire people not to do what I'm doing, but to do what they do and believe in themselves and push themselves, and to let them know that whatever dreams that you have is possible. You just have to make that your reality.
Love that.
Yeah, well said. It's important to like recognize where you really like fall into, like where your place is. And I'm glad that you found that.
For real.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is it bussin'?
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Sorry. What was your first time in the studio? So you said it was in Quincy. What was that like?
I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. Like my session. So the reason how I got put onto the Mix Loft is through a friend of mine that I went to high school with, who was doing music for a little bit before I started. And his artist name, he goes by MOA Cash. And he's like, yo, I have this studio. I think you'll really rock with the engineer there. So when I went to go record, I've never actually recorded music besides like on my voice memo on my phone. So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't go in there with any expectations.
That's good.
So the one thing that I did expect is him to like, I wouldn't say guide me, but like at least like be there. Mm-hmm. And he was there, but he kind of put me in the booth and was like, all right, you're going to stand here. Here's the headphones. You're going to punch in. You're going to say your lines. And yeah, just have fun with it. And then he was about to walk out the room. I'm like, where are you going? Like, he was like, you got this. You got this.
Oh, my God.
And
did you say he was one of your, like, friends or, like, not really?
Yeah, he was, like, my friend from high school.
Okay.
And I hadn't seen him in, like, some time. But
Did he know it was your first time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he was also, like, the
like,
environment, we were sipping, there was smoking going on, so whatever. Yeah, and then I just started, like, trying, going through, and I feel like what really made the experience fun is the engineer I was working with. His name is Will Frenchman. Right now, he's no longer based in Boston, but I'm super blessed that I, like, came across him, like, at the time that I did, because I still work with him, even though like
That's
he's across
dope.
the country now. Like
Yeah.
he's amazing, but he was so like interactive and engaged and like giving suggestions and not just like pressing play and like doing that. And as someone this is my first time in the studio, that was important, because I feel like if I didn't have that experience, I wouldn't have known how to like find like how to really build my sound, like, or my songs and things like that, really like make a good record.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my one, like, and actually hearing the quality of my music outside of like being on my iPhone voice memos, it was like mind blowing to me. And I wanted to record another one. And then I recorded 2 tracks. I recorded a song. My first song I ever recorded was called Outside. And then the second track that I recorded was me. And then I had my 2 friends, MOA Cash and Strizzy Bonkers, that's who he goes by now, but formerly known as Stray the God. They were on those 2 records, and I was like, I actually want to make a project out of this.
Right.
Like, I don't want this to be on SoundCloud. I think more people should hear this. And then I ended up recording 4 more tracks, and I created a project called Baby Steps, which is my first ever like
That's your
release.
baby.
Yeah, like on DSP. So
When you were doing that, or like when you, right before you wanted to go in the studio and like you were making the songs like on your voice memos, like how did you find the sound that you wanted? Like, or did you have an idea of it, or was it kind of more just going in there and just seeing what felt right?
So I had already had like things recorded or written from like when I was just like smoking and freestyling in the summer, like in my memos. When it came to finding that, it was just organic. I just found all the beats on that project were from YouTube, and I was just like making what sounded good to me.
Yeah.
And then I just re-recorded whatever I had written, and then just laid it down and like made the track. So yeah.
How do you feel, if there is any change, like from that first project to where you are now?
Yeah, I feel like my work is a lot more intentional. Not saying that I don't have fun anymore, but that was just like really raw. Like not trying at all, not thinking of like consumers or like how other people would like
Perceive it.
Yeah, like listen to it. And now I feel like since then, I'm taking my craft and evolving my craft a lot more seriously, and really wanting to tell my story. And yeah, like I feel like something that was unintentional became a lot more important and intentional to me, outside of like I'm making music and other people are listening to it now, but like I want to get better at it, you know? Like I really want to learn more about like this craft. I want to get better at what I'm doing. I feel like that's the most like major difference since like
change,
my first project till now.
That's dope. It makes sense too, because like when you were starting it, it was for fun, and then like I feel like when you see that you actually have a platform or an audience that you can share yourself on, like you really want to make it important to other people.
Yeah, like make it count.
Yeah, exactly.
Count for something. So who were some of your inspirations in music like early on, and do you think you like took any like influence from them based on like your sound or the way you dress or your style, etc.?
That's a great question. I feel like the influences I had in music, they influenced me in a different way. I used to be a dancer, so I was consuming music differently. Like the most influential artist to me is Michael Jackson. And
I feel you.
Not only like the music that he was creating wasn't captivating, it was something that like will last long, like regardless of what generation. It's timeless, you know? And like just seeing how invested he was in his craft and like his performances and creating this like this world and experience was extremely like impactful to me, and he's such a talented and amazing dancer.
He's a legend.
He's a legend. And you know, a lot of other artists that inspired me is like Missy Elliott and like Left Eye I've been getting for my like most recent like music video. But like just seeing like how I really resonate with artists who just are just themselves and like really creative and just out of the box and like unorthodox. And that was like very like motivating to me, because I feel like just as a kid I didn't really fit in. Like I was never a child that really
especially not being a stationary child,
you know,
not having the experience to like stay in a school for a long period of time and develop those like long lasting friendships. So I feel you on that.
And there's been a couple of times I was like the new girl in the school, and I didn't have like the flyest shoes, or like I didn't like know, like I was really oblivious. I was really in my own world. So like I used to get like made fun of, I'd say behind like closed doors, or like I would get treated different because of that. But I never let that like mold me into aspiring to be like someone I'm not. So looking at these people and seeing that they're unapologetically themselves, like, was amazing. And one of my most current like artists, like I really love Rico Nasty, and a lot of people say that they can hear that through my sound. And I don't intentionally like do that. One thing that I really appreciate besides her music is just how she is herself. She's also a mother, and I don't know if a lot of people like know that. And you know, having another, like, you are responsible for another being and curating like their life, like you, that's important. And just seeing how dedicated she is to just being a parent and like still killing in her artistry is dope. Still being herself is dope. And also there was this one interview or like something I was watching with her, and she was talking about how she had just found out about like rage therapy, or like screaming is therapeutic and stuff like that. And I feel like there was a period of my life where I wasn't as vocal that I wanted to be, and just expressing myself and my feelings, because I would get like deemed disrespectful by my parents or something like that.
You get shut down,
you know. So I feel like a lot of my music is self-expressive in that way, even though I don't really articulate personal stuff right now, or when the music I created, you can kind of hear bits and pieces of my story. It's the feeling. I want people to feel me through my music. I want people to resonate, whether that's what I'm saying, whether it's the production, like everything is like it means something. So those are some of my inspirations for that, whether it's like their timelessness, their creativity, like their being unapologetically themselves. Like those are the people that influence me in my creative direction.
People who are like role models. I feel you. Who are some of the people you like to work with, if any, whether that be, I want to say on a bigger scale, but it can also be locally.
Like, who do I want to, or who do I like?
Who do you want to?
Who do I want to?
Who are like your dream collabs, like in the future?
So I want to work with Timberland.
Oh shit!
I want to work with Jazzy Faye. If you know like Sierra 1-2 Step, and he's like Jazzy Fizzle. I want to work with Jazzy Faye. Probably Pharrell when it comes like those, like when it comes to production. Some like features I would love to do is like, of course, like Rico Nasty. Probably like BK the Ruler.
Don't like do me right now.
Like Missy Elliott. G Herbo for sure. I think that would be a crazy. You know, I'm telling you, like there's a couple of people, but as far as like people who I would like to like connect with locally, let me think, because there's a couple of people that I want to work with. Max Moody. I want to connect with. Who? There's a long list. The most people I want to connect with are like, it's just people I can like connect with already, like Gib DJ, Tomo more. Just I have a long list. I don't know why it's not like sparking like my head, but there's a lot of locals that I want to connect with. But like it's because I feel like it makes sense. Like I'm very like particular when it comes to my music, and because it's a reflection of me and just like who I am. So I just want to make dope connections with a whole bunch of people. And I'm really excited what 2023 is going to bring.
Oh, yeah. That's
Sending
dope.
you good vibes for the future.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, of course. And it makes sense, too, like, if you can't think of, like, specific people right now, because you probably have mad connections and mad people, like, you see all the time, and you're like, yeah, like, let's make some dope shit. So it makes sense to not know, like, right off the top of my head. I feel you. But I wanted to talk more about baby steps. So you dropped that in. I've been, like, thinking about it.
That caught her by surprise.
So you dropped that in 2021.
Yes.
I want to know more about, like, the process behind making it and, like, the inspiration for it.
So I feel like a really important part of creating that project was my friend Strizzy Bonkers, who, like I said, formerly goes as Stray the God. And we had just recently started, like building and, like, growing our, like, friendship. And he had been doing music, like, he's a little younger than me, but he's been doing music for a couple of years now. And, like, he's really, really, like, good at what he does. So we would talk through, like writing, like, his, like, visual concepts and stuff, or, like, the concepts for his project, and it was really inspirational to me. Like I said, I just was in the studio and I recorded those 2 singles, and I was like, yo, I want to make this into a project. So the first thing that I did was just finish the songs. 4 more songs. We were in the studio together. He's on 2 of the tracks, and just finishing the work itself. Yeah. Once I did that, I'm like, okay, I have the records, but, like, I don't even know, like, what to call it, like, what the cover art's gonna be or anything. And we were smoking in my room, and we were just talking about it and things of that nature. And in my room, I have, like, a whole bunch of decorations. So in the way my room was set up at the time is the left side of me is, like, I have a, like, you know how you have the photo wall? I'm at the record wall out there. I have a whole bunch of, like, 4x4, like, mini photos, like, and I have a photo wall.
I have the same thing.
Like,
in my room.
random stuff.
It's huge.
And then on the right side of me, I have a vision board that I created in 2017. Okay. So I'm like, we're smoking and I'm high as hell. And I'm like, yo, I don't know what to call this project. Like, what would I call it? And I'm just sitting here smoking, and I'm looking around my room, and I look at the vision board, and there's a whole bunch of different things. And then I just look at the top, and in yellow words, it says baby steps. And I'm like,
You're talking to me.
And I'm like,
you're talking to me.
Because pink is one of my favorite colors, but yellow is also one of my favorite colors.
Yellow's
so
my favorite.
It's like, it made me pay attention to it. So I'm like, baby steps. And then I'm just thinking, and then I'm high. So I'm like getting off track. I'm like, baby steps. I'm like, why would I put that on the vision board? Like, what does that mean? Like, what the heck? And then I'm like, all right, I'm getting off focus. So then I just, like, hit the blunt again. And then I look the other way, and then I'm just looking at all the pictures that are on, like, my photo wall. And then, like, I'm looking, and then I see, like, a picture of me, and I get up, and I'm like, hold on. And I go to the wall, and it's a baby picture of me in the studio. So I'm like, wait a second. And then I'm like,
deep meaning in everything.
I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, wow, like, it makes sense. So I created the cover art myself on my phone.
That's dope.
And I found the exact same font that is on the vision board, and I put it together. And I was like, okay, baby steps. I'm like, this means, like, it means it has a deeper meaning than just the literal thing. Like, besides me,
like this is my first project.
You know, like, I've been in the studio. My dad's a producer.
Oh,
and
shit.
he has aspirations on actually, like, really doing it seriously and making a career, but he never did it because, you know, he was mainly focused on providing for the household.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've been in this studio since I was a kid. Like, this is something that's in my blood. Like, music runs through my veins, whether it's for, like, production, like, writing, or, like, dance. Like, it's something that is within me.
It's calling to you.
You know, and this is, like, baby steps. I'm like, this is my first project. Like, this is only baby steps to, like, whatever I'm doing in life, you know?
Yeah.
Whether this project takes me somewhere or not. Like, this is the first time I've ever, like, took the time to invest something, like, personally for myself.
Yeah.
We all are like, we have to go to school. Then after we graduate high school, we have to go to college. We have to get a job. Like, I've never did anything like for me. And this is like the first thing that I'm really doing. So then I just put it together and then I dropped it, and it was like baby steps. Like we were talking earlier, my friend Madsen had I was showing him some of the records before I even like put the project together, and he was like, "Yo, like you should put this out, and like you should have like a release party for it." And he had helped me put together a release party, right in Field. I was about to say Fields Corner. Like there's this venue called the Dublin House, and I met up with a photographer. Her name's Marika. She shot some of the photos, and it was very small. It wasn't even 30 people there, I would say. Very intimate. And that was the first time, like, I ever, like, had that. And to see then, like, I had 30 people to, like, 300, 500
like
people.
where you are.
Like, where I was, like, that's just insane to me. Because
know.
I didn't even know, like, this is where I would be today.
Yeah, that's mind
crazy.
blowing.
And as it being like your first thing that you did for yourself and like put out for yourself, how was like the vibe of like having those 30 people like just and like doing something for yourself like for the first time, like, and like having kind of like the attention on you? I know you're an extrovert, but like still it is a little bit scary, you know? So how was that?
It was a lot of emotions, because even though Madsen helped me like put it together, I was doing, if not most, at least all of the coordination for it. So I didn't really like, I feel like I really didn't get to, and I say this a lot with some of the stuff that we do, I don't really get to really digest the moment. But looking back, it was like so meaningful to me, because the same people who were there, if most of them are still here and like a part of my journey today, and they sit here and have conversations with me like, yo, I remember that, like we were sitting in the room, like you would just did this, it was just like 12 months ago, like we were just there. And like I feel like they tell me like, this is a true testament, like you inspire me to do what I want to do. And I'm like, I try to tell y'all, like, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna take a lot of like hard work and dedication and a lot of faith, specifically like in yourself. But like it's possible, yo. And it's just like really surreal, and just I'm just really blessed and like thankful that I've been through the experiences that I've been through, and just met the people that I've met. And it showed me like, you like do stuff for yourself. Like we only have one life. We don't know. The only thing that's promised in this world is like, we're all gonna die.
Literally, I was just gonna say death. Like,
you feel me? Like,
promise.
Like we're all gonna die. You might as well utilize the time that you have here, conscious, like on this earth, towards something that is meaningful to you. In the first time that I did that, I've just started doing more things that meant a lot to me and like that I wanted to do, and it's paid off in the end. Even though it must have been difficult, like at first, but to answer your question, like it's just like
surreal.
Yeah. Very surreal.
Yeah.
That's amazing though.
Yeah, and I feel the vibes. It's lovely when people are just like very grateful and appreciative, because it rubs off on other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it. You can feel it. If you can't see it, you can definitely feel it.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So on that same like basis, so going from baby steps to Terrible Twos, shout out your shirt. I see you wearing it today.
Thank you.
Sir. Yeah. So going to Terrible Twos and then Child's Play. So you must have had like, I mean, there's definitely a big increase of people like listening to your music, popping out to your stuff. What was that like? And like, was the process behind making both of those projects different from that? I mean, it must have been in some sense, but like the feeling too.
Yeah. I'm appreciative of all these questions, by the way, because like these are like such meaningful questions, and it's really giving me a chance to like reflect on my path. So thank you for that.
I love that.
Yeah.
So baby steps, it took me almost over a year, or like around a year, until I released music again. So the whole like 10 to 12 months like before I dropped Terrible Twos, I was literally just performing stuff from like baby steps.
Yeah.
And to be real, it got old after a while, because I'm like, I want to make more music. Like I want to like do new stuff. So how Terrible Twos came across is like, I'm a very festive person, whether it comes to music or not. Like, I love, like, celebration. I love getting to spend time with the people I love and, like, uplifting them. And my birthday was coming up. And I'm like,
real festive.
I've never, yeah, it's real festive, you know? And growing up, like, I never really got, like, to appreciate my birthday. I've had some birthdays where, like, my family put some thought into, but most of the time it was, like, last minute stuff where they just got me a cake from, like, the grocery store and, like, like, just last minute stuff. And that's, like, and I'm grateful and thankful for that stuff. But I really wanted something meaningful. Yes. If I could do it for myself, I'm going to make it possible. So I'm like, I want to do a birthday party, but, like, I don't want to do a regular birthday party.
No.
I'm like, I should drop, like, a project for my birthday. And at the time, I was like, I'm turning 22. And I'm like, okay, I want to make a project for my birthday. And I believe I already had, like, one of the singles, like, one song done for it. So I'm like, all right, if I drop a project for my birthday, what would that, like, look like conceptually? Like, what would it sound like? Then I just started thinking through ideas. And I'm like, okay, I'm turning 22. This is 2022. This is my second project. I'm like,
yeah.
Terrible twos. and I'm like, yo, it would be cool if, like, I turned that concept, because terrible twos is literally like when you're like a 2-year-old.
I know.
Like, you know, so I'm like, it would be cool if I did a play on it. Like, if I was what would it look like if I was a 22-year-old, like, having a tantrum like I was 2.
Like, going through the
and,
terrible
like,
twos.
talking through, like, just, like, yeah, like, my growth, like, since, like, my last project. So I ended up putting out a 3-track single, and even though it was extremely short, I believe it's around 7 to 8 minutes, I feel like those were the most, like, impactful songs that I made to, like, steer the direction towards, like, where I'm going now. And even through some of the lyrics, if, like, you listen back to it, I'm telling, like, bits and pieces, like, really small bits and pieces of, like, my story and my experience. And we were shooting a photo shoot for, like, the party.
Yeah.
And, like, just, like, what that would look like. And then we ended up, like, filming a video, like, for behind the scenes. And then we were like, fuck it, we're going to make this into a music video to, like, premiere at the party.
That's so
And I'm
dope.
like, cool. So we did another photo shoot to, like, shoot the cover art for the project and, like, to finish the music video. And when it came to the party, like, I made sure it was an experience. Like, whoever didn't get to go, like, I really feel bad. Like, and this isn't on, like, any cocky stuff. Like, I made the space like a bedroom and, like, a playroom. Like, I put, like, a mattress in there. Like, I had, like, giant, like, board games. I had, like, I recreated, like, the photo set from, like, the flyer from the party so people could take their own pictures. I printed out, like, a whole, like, big coloring page where people can sign. I still have it to this day, and I used it for the packaging for my merch so people could feel, like, included in my journey.
Wow.
And it was, like, so fun. And, like, that really opened my eyes to see, like, how many people support me.
Yeah.
Like, that space was filled. That was the first time I ever crowd surfed or,
That's
like, anything
crazy.
like that. And that just led, like, me to, like, thinking, like, just it was really, like, a staple, like, part of my process. And then I made my third project that I dropped this previous October called Child's Play. And if you see the running theme between, like, all 3 projects, it's like Baby Steps, Terrible Twos, Child's Play. It's a spin on each of the previous ones, but it also, like, has a deeper meaning of, like process and growth and learning and just, you know, being youthful and just telling and really outlining, like, my journey in a fun way. And I'm gonna tell you guys this. I've only told a couple people, and I'm working on my first full-length album.
Oh shit!
And hopefully it will come out within the time that I'm trying to drop it. But it's called Growing Pains.
Okay.
And
a
lot of
themes are really theming.
They are indeed.
And because it's like I said, it's become a lot more intentional, and a lot of people are like, I want to hear this type of sound from you. I don't really, like, fuck with the rage shit, and it's like, I respect that, and it respectfully it might not be for you, but I'm not gonna box myself into one type of like sound.
No.
Respectable.
But yeah, like with that project, I'm really trying to like tell my story. It's not gonna sound like any of the music I've dropped previously, and like that's how like the 3 like projects like came to be, and like how I'm just becoming like I'm telling my story. And if people who like pay attention and see it, they get it. If they just enjoy like the music, that's fine too. But like there's a story to like my releases and a story to my visuals, and hopefully like it's just a blessing. Like as much as you guys are like seeing my journey, I am too.
Yeah.
So like
You're
so
the one going through it.
Yeah,
so.
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And
I really love that.
Thank
like,
you.
That whole, it's just like you keep saying, it's so intentional, but like also in just like a
You're having
different
fun
way.
with it,
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Like,
it's just very you, and you're talking
Yeah.
about how you find inspiration from people who are authentically themselves, and like that's obviously the same energy you're giving off. So it's really refreshing to see.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
of course.
it's cool that like you can still have fun with being like intentional and deep.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like not a lot of people know how to execute that
Facts.
way.
Yeah.
But it's really nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool.
Because
For real.
me, like, I don't know. I just do what's like more fluid for me. Like, there's so many, specifically in rap, like, I feel like we're in an era where it's like we have the real like introspective, like conscious rappers where it's like you really got to sit and listen to their music. And then we have like the viral TikTok like songs, like, and there really isn't in any between. Like I want to have fun, but like also making impactful music too. So that's really my lane. And I know I get comparisons to the Ricos and to the Coil Rays and to the BK the Rulers and stuff. And those are people that I respect and really fuck with, but respectfully, I'm not trying to be like them. I'm inspired by them, but yeah, I'm me, and I know I'm different, and I know I'm unique, and I want to push that agenda. Like, we all are unique. Like, literally, besides, like, whether you're a musician, whether you're a painter, whatever, like, as humans, like, biologically, like, we're all unique, and we're not the same.
All
so,
different.
like, really express yourself through your truth, and that's all I'm trying to inspire is like just be like 100% like you, because that's one thing people can't take away from you.
That's
like,
facts.
You're you.
Yeah.
I
love that.
That's beautiful. No bullshit.
Like,
I'm
take
just
a
like
minute to
I know.
process.
I'm just sinking like into. I'm just like, damn. Like 45 minutes in feels like
45
fucking
minutes
yes, bro.
in?
Really?
Yes.
What?
And like it feels like it's been just like
I say
a
like
10-minute nice conversation.
I love
like time flies when you're having fun. That's
Wow.
what I say,
Bullshit.
right?
Bullshit.
But moving on to your recent music video, Berserk. Okay. Let's talk about it. This is like 2-part question. But
Sure.
Is it your favorite video that you've shot? And if not, what is your favorite video? That's my first question.
Okay, I'm gonna answer. Well, yes, it is my favorite video that I shot.
Now we can get into
Like, why?
Yeah, like why? What's the inspiration behind it and stuff like that?
So I feel like it's my favorite video or like visual that I shot. One, because my first one, like, I feel like my first like Made Me was the most like fun, like, because that was my first time even making like a visual concept. Like I spent a lot of time, like me, my manager Sadiq, and another person on my team, Cameron Tellu. We sat in the studio for like 12 to like 14 hours, like editing it ourselves. We shot and edited ourselves.
Okay.
So like that was the most enjoyable, but it wasn't as intentional because it was just like we were winging it.
Yeah.
This one, I knew exactly like how I wanted it to be conceptually. Like the shoot itself was easy. Like Colin shot it, and it was about a 4-hour shoot. The set design was beautiful. Jaina, who owns, who is also like a member of Finding Bright Studios, she was extremely like helpful and interactive during that process. So the shoot itself was cool. I shot that video in August of last year.
Okay.
So I just dropped it.
Yeah.
In January of 2023.
Wait, that's That's actually crazy. So you've
Yeah.
had like all the behind the scenes footage, like
Literally.
Yeah.
in the vault,
Yeah,
chilling.
like,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Because
Because literally, yeah, you're posting
Yeah, like,
it.
yeah,
it
it
did.
did this
Literally
week.
just
Yeah,
came out.
there's-
And I knew exactly how I wanted it to be, and I wasn't gonna just take anything.
Yeah.
And so, however I was gonna make it possible, I did, and it went through a couple of different editors, and back and forth trying to send files and all this other bullshit. But I was so like dedicated on creating the vision that I seen for it. So like even just like when it came to the hair and like the outfit changes, like it was the first time like I got to adapt my vision and see it come to life.
Yeah.
And I was really, really excited and anticipating like the reaction of like how people are gonna like receive it, and it's doing like pretty well. And I'm really glad that you guys enjoy it. And
Yeah, I
you
love
know,
that video.
it was refreshing to me because I don't feel like there's a lot of videos like that, like not like mine, but like creative. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people just do run and gun stuff and like
Yes.
whatever is just gonna like catch attention for a little bit of time. Like no, I want
And
my
yours catches attention in a
Yeah.
different way, and it's very like bright and colorful.
You know?
and it is different. Like
It is different,
it's a
for
different
real.
like aesthetic, and it's still dope though. Like
Yeah,
it's very
thank you.
poppy.
yeah.
And you can tell it's intentional again because, like, even the hair, the colors, like the colors in the background, like everything you do, it like fits in
Yeah, it
a
ties
certain
together.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's funny is I kind of tied in like a nod to the music video for Made Me, because the sticker that like was literally on like the album, the cover that I made, I took it from the physical thing and I put it on my face like in the
Oh,
video.
That's kind of fire because it was low-key like coming off
Yeah.
too. And I was like, okay,
yeah, I
that
was
makes
like,
sense now.
I had it because it was there for a month.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
like, it was cool. So it was just the most like I wouldn't say it was just like the most intentional and like really like working to make something come to life. And I'm excited to make more visuals.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
I feel like 2023, like I'm really gonna try my best to be focused on visual content. It takes a lot of resources,
Yeah,
financial,
for
to be specific.
No bullshit.
And yeah, just like I'm really, really excited to just make more music, make more content, meet more people, connect with more people. I'm just ready for more. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
fire. And I can tell it's fucking intentional because you said you recorded that in August.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the song came out in what, like
August.
September, I thought. No? It came out August?
Sometime between the 2 months,
some
yeah.
like
August and
that,
September.
yeah.
But that's crazy. That's
I
dope.
think, yeah, September. You might be right.
I think it was September.
Yeah, I was like,
I was-
because I shot in August, so I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. So, yeah, September.
Extra prepared. I love that. And mind y'all, this all fucking happened in like a little over a year.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
or by that time, probably a little less than a year.
Yeah.
Like,
It's fucking crazy,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, man. It's been, all I can say is God.
literally.
Like, very, very appreciative. And it's funny because I started going to church and like building my relationship with God the same month that I went to the studio,
Oh,
which was
wow.
March of 2021. And I feel like just my faith has played a big role in where I'm at today. And it's taught me a lot about like belief, and not just in
Yeah.
a religion, but like belief in yourself.
Yeah.
And belief is nothing without action. A lot of people,
Yes,
whether
thank you.
what religion or like faith or spirituality you follow, like people will hope and like pray for things but not do any work behind it. So
Yes.
I've pushed myself to some limits to get where I'm at today, and I wouldn't be where I'm at without it. So I'm really, really thankful for all the ups and the downs that I experienced, the good, the bad, the ugly, because I wouldn't be who I am today without those, and we all need that. So
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Just to have like some faith that someone's looking over you, someone's protecting you, like you got it.
Yeah, someone to
feel
keep you
you.
going besides yourself. you
yeah.
know? And that's not like God's always there.
Yeah,
which is
because
like different than anything else. Because you got you, and then you got God, and then everything else is you don't know.
yeah, and even if because I don't knock anybody based off of like their religious beliefs.
Yeah, me either.
But all I'm gonna say is if you aren't grounded in faith and you're not grounded in yourself, it's gonna look extremely spooky because you're easily manipulated or like you can easily get lost in the sauce, for better words, and you need to be grounded in something, if not yourself. Like something, because something needs to keep you pushing when you can't push yourself.
For sure.
And there's been countless times where honestly, regardless of how positive the reception I've been gaining, sometimes I don't even believe what I'm doing because I'm getting good. Like life is good on here,
right?
Like my life is like you're saying. I'm a human outside. Like I'm still struggling financially. Like I'm not A-list celebrity getting thousands of dollars, and I still live like with my mom. Like the people who have grounded me besides like my faith in myself and God is my family, like my team. Like the people who support me, see me go through these things every day. We hold each other accountable. We push ourselves. Like
exactly.
It's extremely important to have people around you. I could not do this by myself.
No way.
You cannot do it by yourself. Even if you think you can, not just one or two people. Like you need like a solid group of people that are gonna be around you, and that's extremely important.
Yeah, that's crucial because too many people think they can just do everything on their own.
Yeah.
It just does not work like that. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
On that note, I'm going to bounce around a little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of team, like how did you go about finding yours? And do you have any tips for people that are looking to find a strong team?
Yeah. We were talking about it earlier. Long story short, I came across my team. One, I already had previous existing relationships with a lot of people that I work with, and some of them are fairly new. I came across my manager. He knew of me prior to me even knowing he existed. He followed my first project. He shared it with a whole bunch of people because he actually enjoyed it, and that's how I got my first gig ever.
Yeah.
And then we started seeing each other because we're in the same community of people, and he reached out to me and let me know like if there's any way that I could support you, I'm down to do it because I believe in you and what you're doing is extremely dope. And he ended up making me an EPK, and like he said earlier, I cried.
Yeah.
I'm a simp, and it's very it's not big things that woo me. Like it's very small gestures, sentimental things that really really touch my heart. So it was so good, in fact, that my sister recommended me to ask him he would be a dope manager. I asked him on 3 separate occasions because being someone's manager is a big thing. Yeah. Like you're taking on someone's whole career. There's other artists that are trying managing other artists that I know, or just taking on clients without any type of experience, and that's a risky thing to do. Very. Not saying that you can't take on new challenges, but this is somebody else's. It's like when you drive and somebody else is in the car, you are responsible for their life.
Yeah, exactly.
I started working with Sadiq, and he was just we were showing each other what we could do before we actually finalized anything, and it was just a really good match. It came with its challenges for sure. It's not something, because I don't trust a lot of people, so we had to build that trust. We had to build that relationship and actually work together to see if this was even something that would work. Yeah. And the other people that are in my team is just people who've just unconditionally have supported me and shown their love just off the strength. And those are the people that I trust. My advice to anybody looking for a team is don't go searching for a manager or searching for a team. You'll know who your people are based off. It could be the people who are already existing around you. It could just be simply you putting yourself in new spaces and just trying to make genuine connections.
Yeah.
And one thing that's important too is if you do have a team or you are looking for a team, it's important that you have a relationship outside of the transactional relationship that you're building. Like you have to have a personal connection with them and make sure the synergy is important. It's an important word that we've been using. But the synergy between you guys, the chemistry that you have works.
Yeah.
Because you have to make sure that not only do these people have your best interest in mind, do you care about these people that you're working with?
Yeah.
Do you have their best interest in mind? Or is it something that you just want that transactional?
Just business.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I personally can't. I don't really resonate with just business. I like to build good rapport with anybody and anybody that we're working with. Like we met at the party and you didn't even know me and I was trying to help you out just for the strength of it.
For real.
Just because
that was
I'm a caring person.
The best like first experience. Like, meeting somebody.
And
like I could just tell like you care about people in general.
So
yeah, we didn't even know like that much. We didn't know who you were
at
all, which was like
because we were
dope.
just getting into shit at that time too.
Wow, that's crazy.
Literally.
Literally. That was one of
there.
our like first couple events that we were going to, like a part of DOD and like, you know, trying to get into more of like the music scene for real. So when we left,
y'all, like,
literally like
it was I still
it was just
think
organic,
about it, you know?
It was organic. Heavy on the organic for real. Just gotta let shit flow.
Yeah,
for real.
like that's important. Like caring. And outside of like the creative world, like there's just not a lot of people who care.
No.
There's not a lot of people who are genuine or have
you
heart.
You could have not stepped up to the plate to help us find that phone. By the way, we're talking about an interaction where Lexi got her phone stolen and Key was like, I got you.
Y'all really
like,
saved me. Like,
literally.
You were like, yeah, we got it. And you're like, we're going to do everything we can.
Yeah.
Find the phone. I was like, wow.
Like,
I didn't know anybody would really help like that.
Yeah. And that's just raw and real.
Yeah, so like
Good
just
connections.
Yeah, just you'll know your team when you find them. And also when you do find them, make sure that you guys are on the same page, like you said. Like making sure that your goals align, like your values align, and just making sure like these are just genuine people that you can see yourself with like years down the line.
Yeah.
And that would be like my number one advice to someone who is like looking for either a manager or a team.
Yeah.
Dope.
That's dope. And like on the topic of connections, so like we said, we saw you at that event. You're at events a lot. I know you go to like Sound Lab in Brockton a lot, which is really dope. What is it like either being invited to those or knowing like you're gonna run something or be a part of it, and like knowing the kind of influence you have and like the ability to help people? Like what is that like, and like coming from not doing music and all this like 2-3 years ago to being here now? Like we were talking about earlier, how it's like people don't often see people as human when they're like doing stuff in the industry. So what is just all that like for you?
If I can be the most transparent with you, it is overwhelming at sometimes and definitely overstimulating, because I have like such a positive like reception.
Yeah,
it's like, for an example, an event that I go to bi-weekly at the Sound Lab is called the Testing Lab. Yeah, and I think it's a great opportunity, even if you're anybody that you know is not performing, just to be there and watch, because you get to discover new artists and you get to test out new music and make connections. It's a great networking opportunity. The first time I went, I was testing my music there. Yeah. Then I just started going bi-weekly. Then recently I was just a panelist giving constructive feedback to artists. Yeah. And before then, like they play music and stuff like before, I was just vibing because I'm a dancer. I'm just gonna I just music playing, like I'm just genuinely gonna like, if I fuck with it, I fuck with it. And the artist is like, somebody came up to me, he's like, you like this song? You like this song? And I'm like, yeah, like it's hard. He's like, I did this. It's my song. It's my song. And I'm like, it's so weird because I feel like people feel like knowing me or having good rapport with me is like validating to them, or like it's like a big thing. And to me, it's like, yo, I'm just a regular person. But like being at these events is so like, it's just so beautiful, like, overall, because I get to see the community growing from even when I was introduced, like, I was welcomed in this community and building these new connections. So seeing new faces all the time, or even reoccurring faces, like, continuously supporting, like, it means a lot. And a lot of those people who I'm around are supporters of mine, and I'm supporters of them. So that's the beautiful part of it. I feel like the people who don't know me or have, like, personal connections towards me, it's like
it's an interesting position to
it's
be
an
in.
interesting thing because, like, people approach me in, like, so many different ways. Like, in my DMs, like, are flooded. And this isn't to boast or brag. Like, literally, it's like, I went from, like, I would barely get any notifications on my phone, where it's like I literally have to check my DM, like, every day to see if, like, because some important people, like,
for real.
But most of the time, it's just, like, people coming to me as if, like I said, I'm, like, this A-list celebrity or something. And at the end of the day, I want people to know, if you're watching this, like, I'm in the same boat as y'all. No cap. Like, I'm human. Like, I don't know if it's the clout thing or, like, what, but for me personally, I don't care about the clout. Like, I don't walk around with a big head or anything. Like, I remain humble. That's important, because
Very
once
important.
you lose sight of being humble, you start, like, not getting grounded and start thinking that you're in positions that you're not. I want y'all to know, like, I'm just like y'all. I still get bills every month. I'm still struggling to pay those bills. Like, I'm still going through life, and it's not easy. So it's like it's a very polar experience. There's a duality to it. I appreciate it. I love it. It shows me that I'm growing and my influence is growing, but at the same time, it's like people don't know, like, what I'm really going through. Like, sometimes people don't even care or ask. It's just like, I want to work with you. I want to do this. And it's like, do you want to work with me because you genuinely want to work with me? Or you want to work with me because you see that I'm garnering attention? Like, like, right now, there's a lot of people who want to do features and stuff, or, like, want to work. And it's like, if I genuinely don't see, like, a connection, or if, like, I don't really, like, rock with what you're doing, I'm not gonna do it, like, because I'm very intentional. It's not that I don't like you or anything like that, but I'm really, like, this is important to me. I'm not, like, wishy-washy with this, like, just taking any and everything. No, like, when it comes to show gigs, when it comes to opportunities like this, like, I have to rock with your initiative, and I rock with what y'all are doing, and it means a lot to me. So it's a very polar experience, for real. Like, it's like, I feel like Hannah Montana. Like, that's the best.
Why was I thinking
about double lives for real?
Like, I feel like I'm Hannah Montana. Like, it's just, like, mad weird.
Hannah Montana.
I got money. I got white. I got money. I got white. I got seven.
All damn night.
But
for real.
But anyways, back to it.
Honestly, real quick, I need to run to the bathroom.
Okay, cool.
Before we keep going.
Okay.
A few moments later.
Basically, what I was gonna say is just a reminder to everybody that, like, what you see on your phone is not real. Like, it's not real life, and everybody has, like, a brand to uphold themselves to.
Exactly.
And like to each his own. Like, you brand yourself how you want to brand yourself, and not to say that that's a bad thing, that it's not real life, but, like, it isn't. Like, you're not gonna like expose, like, your deepest, darkest, like, thoughts on social media for the world to see. You're gonna uphold the brand,
especially if that's not, like, who you want to be.
Exactly.
I know everything that I put out is authentically me, but it's not everything. And, like, everybody doesn't need to know everything unless I sit down and I take the time to talk to you and let you know, and people watch it. But like, everything on this, like, is bullshit, yo. Like, people put out what they want you to see. Sometimes that is vulnerable parts of myself. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I want to let y'all see the goofy, fun stuff that y'all don't get to see.
Exactly.
But yeah.
So moving on, what was it like being nominated and winning as Best Artist of the Year at the BMAs?
It felt like it was not real. I felt like it was a dream. And one, because I didn't even know what the BMAs was, like, prior to, like, a couple months ago. Like, I didn't know that was a thing, and I didn't know it was going on for like years.
Yeah.
And actually, when I was talking about like having your values aligns with the people that you're working with, my manager Sadiq actually, like, one of his goals was to get someone like nominated for a BMA prior to even working with me, like just
dope.
something like along those lines in that
Yeah.
realm. So for us to like, one, just see it, like, yo, like I got nominated for one, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, especially with like everything's just so short. Like
Yeah.
everything's just like, it just is like coming.
Yeah.
So it's just like, wow. And then getting to perform, I'm like, yo, this is the largest crowd I've performed in my entire time, like
exactly.
doing this. And then not only performing, but like having like a live arrangement. Like that was my first time ever having like my music arranged like live,
That's
where I'm
so
performing with like a drummer and
Yeah.
a pianist and crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So that experience was just like breathtaking. Like, wow. It was so much adrenaline, so much like, just like, yo, what?
Yeah.
But then when it got to like actually winning it, it just like, even thinking like about it is like making my eyes water. I don't want to cry right here, but like it felt like it was the first. I feel like before, like, people like respected what I was doing, like overall, but it felt like the first time I was like solidified and like recognized and taken like seriously.
Yeah.
Like, this is like big, like to
It's
the
a
point
big
where like
milestone.
whether I die, like, knock on wood, whether I die like soon or like 50 years from now, like my name is gonna be remembered like in the city where I'm from. Like, that's crazy, because a couple months ago, like, or a year ago, I was nothing. Like, if I was to go away or something, like, nobody would even know who I am. And to be recognized in that capacity is like, it's like the word is like just so surreal, and like just like nobody knows how much it like took to get here, even though it's been short. And sometimes I feel like I don't deserve it, because I have people in my community who've been doing this for 5 years, 10 plus years, and haven't like got these accolades.
Yeah.
And this is no like this to them, but it's sometimes because I'm so fresh and so new to it, it feels like I don't even deserve it. So like it just don't feel like real. Like, that was, I feel like it's like I'm enjoying it, and at the same time I don't feel like I get to enjoy it as much, because like how I'm processing everything. But like it was just a breathtaking moment, like everything from the nomination to the performance to the winning, like all of it, and everything that came before and after. It's just
Everything
wow.
seems to happen so quickly, like it's kind of hard to process.
Yeah.
In a way, like I feel you.
But it shows you're
Definitely
doing
a lot.
something right.
Exactly.
For real.
Hitting the milestones.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. And on the note of performing, so I think one of the first times, if not the first time we saw you perform, was at the Van Buren show in the beginning of December, which was crazy ass performance. Like, that was one of my favorite performances I've seen, dead ass.
Thank you.
So I wanted to know what it's like for you performing, because you have such a crazy stage presence. Do you like performing? How did you develop your stage presence? All that type of stuff.
Yeah, I love performing. It's so fun. I think that's one of, besides like creating the music and the visual content, like getting to interact with the crowd and just feel like exchanging the energy in the room, like that is super duper fun.
Yeah.
I feel like, because we were talking about my background in dance earlier, I feel like that plays a big role in like my charisma on stage, and why I may be more comfortable than other artists performing is because I've had that type of exposure with like performing in front of people, not in the same way with like doing music, but like expressing myself through my body and like just being animated in that form. So that's pretty cool. It had to get some adjusting. Like, even people feel like I killed my first performance. Low key, I was shit in my pants. And sometimes even before my performances now, I shit myself. Like, or I feel like I'm about to shit like myself.
Just shit.
Like, no, like I literally get like like my stomach, like
I know
you
what
know
you're
what I'm
It's
talking
queasy
about.
and shit.
I did
It's-
dance
yeah,
at
it's
one point
queasy.
too, like,
Because like even now, if you put me in a crowd, it could be 20 people, and you ask me to talk in front of them.
Yeah.
like that's a little different. Like I feel like I kind of get like tongue tied or like whatever. So, but yeah, I feel like all that just plays in the role. It's just I really let loose.
You
Pause.
seem very wait,
But like,
you seem very comfortable on
No
stage.
cause I perform like I'm by myself, like the same way you or me, like we could be like, say if we chill one day, right? And we're like at someone, like one of our houses, and we're like just chilling, like vibing to music, we're playing around or dancing, like, or at a party, even when you're in your car,
Literally.
like
Yeah.
dancing, like that's how I perform.
Yeah.
I don't really care about like how I maybe perceive, like, oh, she's doing too much, or like,
that's
oh,
Yeah.
she's
shit,
crazy,
bro.
like.
Yeah.
That's
Fuck that. You could call me
Yeah.
crazy. I'm sitting here having crazy fun. So,
Yeah.
yeah, like
I really
and-
like that mindset.
Thank you.
Just as a point, like I really do like that.
Yeah, like I feel like, you know, and cause we were having another interview the other day, and somebody had asked like what advice would you give to a young woman like trying to like get into like performing or doing music. I'm like, be you, like have fun, like don't worry about what other people have to say about like what you're doing, because at the end of the day, what, like they're gonna not like it, so what?
No, that's
Yeah,
literally the
you-
worst.
You
they
gonna
could-
wake up the next day, and you know sometimes I'm not gonna lie, you know, even though on the outside it looks like I had great performances, I've had fuck ups.
Yeah.
I've busted my ass a couple of times during my performances.
Yeah.
You got something
But
to say
like
on that?
you learn as you go, and you're human. Like what if you fall down, literally
Get
pick yourself
back
up.
up.
You know, the show must
Facts.
go on. So yeah, like performing is just so fun to me, and that's why I feel like I'm so excited on making more music, because I want to connect with people in so many different ways. Like I have a lot of like hard rock like
Yeah.
shit, but like when I get to like really talk and like tell my story, and people like, yo, like that saved my life, like, or like, yo, I really resonate, I'm going through that same thing, and I was about to give up, but like listening to you, like you really inspired me. Like I can't wait to connect with people in that way. So
Yeah.
performing is just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And I'm so blessed that I get to do that as my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you already do, bro. Like at that performance, I was like, damn, bro, it's so it's like refreshing to see like a girl be able to move like this like whole venue of men like and they're
Yeah.
moshing to your shit. Like I was like running to that mosh, bro. Like
No,
dead
we
ass.
were
I was like,
in there,
let's
by the
go.
way.
Like
Yeah.
Some of
That shit was
our
hard.
male friends that we went with, they hadn't like heard you before, and like after they're like, "Yo, she was the most fire performance like of the night."
yeah.
Like,
Tell
and,
them I
like,
said thank
of
you.
course,
Us
and like
too,
since
bro,
literally
literally,
us
like,
too.
I
But
was
like
like,
since
shit.
then, they've been listening to your shit. They really fuck with you too. So like male, female, whatever. Like
Literally.
Yeah.
it's the love is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see a girl, like a woman doing that
Like,
shit.
yeah,
Like putting that shit on
exactly.
stage and setting that vibe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a stereotype, like, you know,
yeah.
like people can put women into a box performing wise. And it was
Yeah.
nice literally just to see everybody like actually going crazy for
Yeah.
once. Like, and then the
Berserk,
girl on
you
stage,
could
like,
say, you
that
could
ass.
say.
they might have
know?
went berserk, yo.
Yeah, it is super fun, and I'm glad I get people like captivated in that way. Like I feel like my energy is like transferring to you guys, and I'm like, y'all are feeling what I'm feeling, and like I'm feeling what you're feeling. So it's just like, let's just like get lit, like let's turn the fuck up, like, you know, because once we leave this venue, I don't know what your life looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know what my life looks like. So let's just like really embody this moment. Like really just let go and just like have fun.
Yeah.
Like it's a miserable world out here. yo.
For real.
Not to get deep from
Nah,
like, the fun. Like,
nah,
topic.
I like the
is.
deep though. I
It's
like
true.
it. Pause. I like the deep. I like fuck out of here. Damn.
Yeah, why did it take me a second to?
So I said pause. You really gotta pause and marinate.
No bullshit.
Pause.
But yeah,
Paused. And we're
Pause.
moment of silence.
Are you? Oh, you're not. Oh, you're not doing that one. Okay, my bad. So do you freestyle or write more?
Okay, so this is one thing I'm gonna tell y'all about my creative process.
Okay.
I'm still developing it. And as of right now, it is so all over the place and so chaotic. Like, it's a mixture of different elements. Like, I'll sit in, like, because I have my own setup in my room. I feel like it also varies from, like, space to space. Sometimes, like, it's more fluid, me punching in my verse. But I'll punch in sometimes. I'll write, like, some, like, lines that I have down, and then, like, I'll record it. Or, like, most of the time, it starts off like this. I'll hear a beat. Like, I prefer sitting and cooking up a fresh beat with a producer than like getting sent beat packs. I like connecting with producers in that way. So I'm hearing the sound as it develops. I'm getting like a sense of how I want to approach the track, and I come up with a flow. And I open up my voice memos on my phone, and it's just like humming like and it's just like a whole bunch of baby babble that you're not gonna be able, like, what is she saying? And then I just kind of just fill in the words, whether I punch in or like write, and like take the time to think. It does take me a little bit of time. I've watched some of my like other artist friends, and they just sitting here just punching in and just spitting the whole time. I'm like, yo, I can't wait till I get to that point. I'm not at the point right now. But like, yeah, it's super all over the place and super like developmental and still like curating that shit.
Very experimental.
Which is dope.
So yeah, it mainly starts off with like, I know how I want to flow on a track, and then the words following after.
Fire.
So yeah.
Fire. It's interesting that you say that too, because like it seems like it, like doing it that way since it is so like experimental, it can take a little bit more time to figure out. But at the same time, your first time in the studio, you made 2 songs. Like
but fair to say, like I was like working on them for like a couple months. Like that. Oh yeah, just for the record, like I did not write those songs in the studio. I would have. I don't know what I would have done. But yeah, I already had the songs written, and even back then, like it took me like a month or 2 like to finish a song, and it's a lot more quicker now. But it still takes time. But I'm still working on it. I'm not perfect. And
but also like you don't like, if that's the way you work too. Like some people just are like that, and like they could, like that's perfectly fine too. Like,
and you'll get better at that if if that's how
your
you.
Way.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
You got that. You got that.
Maybe that is how maybe that is my creative process, and maybe I just need to. I just need to keep working on it.
Yeah, time will tell.
Yeah, for sure.
On a different note, have you had any difficulties being a female in the industry?
So my experience is quite different. Being a woman in this industry so far has just been extremely positive. I feel like there has been some hiccups, but I don't know if that necessarily like relates to me being a woman. It probably could. One thing that I can say is like, I don't know if people feel like they can like just treat any situation a certain way because I'm a woman, and they don't think that I'm gonna say something. But, like, I don't tolerate a lot of stuff, and I understand that, you know, especially in this community that we have in Boston and creating the scene, everything's not perfect. You know, there are going to be hiccups. But, like, there is a certain standard that we have. Like, like, you can't just, like, fuck up and just, like, oh, yep, that's how it is. Like, I don't appreciate that. I don't tolerate that. And maybe I feel like one thing I can say is, people may feel some type of way about how I maneuver because I'm a woman. I feel like if in some of the situations that I've been through, if I was a man and I was in these situations with these people, I feel like the approach or like the resolution or just the experience would have been a lot different. But a lot of the experience, I've been like extremely positive because I'm a woman who's very vocal. I don't take a lot of shit. I don't stand for a lot of shit. I'm gonna tell you how it is, and sometimes I don't even have to tell you how it is. I'm gonna just clip it, and that's just not just being a woman. That's just me personally. Some of the stuff that I've been through in life, like I don't have time to sit here and talk to you. We're 20 years old. Like, you should know right from wrong. If I am not fucking with you or certain shit, like I'll just clip it like that. You don't deserve an explanation for certain things. And that's okay. Like, you know, you may not like it, but you don't have to like a lot of the stuff that I do. Sometimes I do reflect, maybe that's not the right way to go about things, and, you know, I could deal with things a different way. And all I know is I try to go about things in a certain manner where because I'm a woman, I don't want to be perceived as me reacting because I'm being emotional or I'm on my period or I'm you know, like, no, like, that's so fucked up and that's so stupid. Like, no, I feel like I try my best to understand when I am being emotional and when, you know, I need to, like, right now is not the right time to say something or react. Let me take a day or two and, like, you know, because I'm not trying to be perceived as a bitch because I'm standing on, like, what I'm saying. Because if I sit here and tell you I don't fuck with the way that you're doing something, you need to work on doing this, I don't want people to be like, oh, she's bitching. But if a man was to say it, like, it's like, you right, bro. Like,
exactly.
you right. Like, no. So
it's assertive when a guy does it, aggressive when a girl does it.
Yeah, so I try my best to just, like, do my due diligence and try to deal with all my situations accordingly. Aside from that, I haven't had a lot of negative experiences, and I'm blessed because I feel like, and this is no diss to any of the women doing it, but, like, I don't feel like I have to sexualize myself or, like, compromise my values as a woman and submit to what women in the industry are doing to be successful. So I feel like that's why I feel like a lot, especially the men that you bring up, like, I feel like a lot of the men in my community respect me. Like,
that's crucial.
Like, I feel like I'm heavily respected by the men in the community, and I appreciate that because at first, like, not a lot of women were exposed to my music, and the demographic listening to my music and I was around were men, and I'm like, yo, to be, like, new in the rap game, like, here, and, like, to be getting my props, that means a lot. So, like, I've had a pretty positive experience, and
that's dope.
I know that's not the case for a lot of women out here because they feel like, you know, if you want to work with me, you gotta do something, like, you gotta show some, or like, you gotta make this type of music to be successful. Like, I don't fuck with that, and I'm gonna do what I want to do at the end of the day, and I don't care about what you think is successful.
Good shit.
I know I'm successful. I know I'm valuable. So y'all gonna listen to me, and y'all gonna hear me, and y'all gonna understand where I'm coming from. So, like, that's been my experience, like, as a woman.
That's dope. How do you think, like what helped your mentality grow to that, since, like, you are were so fresh into it, and, like, what do you think, like, developed your mindset to be more, like, stronger or, like, quote unquote cutthroat, but not in a negative light?
I feel like there's a lot of factors that play into that. I feel like one, how my adolescent ages, where I felt like I've always been vocal, but sometimes I would be a little bit, like, timid when it came to conflict or like things like that. Passive because I don't really like drama. I don't really like issues. So I feel like through experiencing more uncomfortable situations and, like, having to deal with that, especially, like, in here, like, not in here, but, like, in the industry and, like, in the growing community of collective creatives, like, trying to make this shit work and be serious about it. Dealing with these uncomfortable situations is going to put you in positions where you're going to have to talk. You're going to have to say something. And I don't like people speaking for me. So it's I either don't say anything at all, or I'm going to stand up and be vocal about how I feel. And I've had a couple of those situations, and I feel like they've allowed me to grow outside of my comfort zone of just, like, just dealing with stuff and confronting issues with people, whether it's, like, in business or, like, in, like, my relationships that I have with my team and my family and my friends, and just, like just wanting to grow in that way, in that manner, and just wanting to be able to, because I'm trying to be my own boss. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and I feel like everybody should be their own boss and not take shit from no one. So, like, I don't take shit, and I'm going to continue to not take shit, but I'm very, like, thoughtful. Like, I'm going to bring this up. Like, me and my manager have had a lot of disagreements, like, throughout, because we're learning each other, you know? Like, we didn't know each other prior to, like, us connecting. So, like, just being aware, like not trying to like being vocal, but not being a bitch about it. Like I want to like make sure like I'm not coming at you sideways and talking to you or like approaching you in a way that you don't deserve. And I make that parent like, yo, like I know we went through this, but like I needed these couple of days, so I made sure that I was coming to you level-headed and in a clear mind, so I'm able to articulate myself like clearly and let you know like how I feel. And like just caring, because a lot of people just snap and not care. Like you know,
communicating in a healthy way.
Because these people don't have to work with you. And like I said, my character is important to me. So like I want to make sure that I'm coming to you in correct, because that's how I would want to be approached. So just being aware, like you said, and just treating people how you want to be treated for real. And that's just been the most important thing to me.
Amazing. You show a lot of self-awareness, which is like the most key factor of any type of communication.
Literally.
So that's very respectable.
Even little things like taking that time, like the 24-hour rule, like just waiting it out before you say something like out of line, like type shit.
Because you don't want to react on emotion. It just, it never,
especially being a woman.
Exactly.
You know, it's like I
feel you.
Yeah. So in this, like, we're like in a digital age of media. Facts.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
We're in like a digital age of media, and like especially with all this music shit. So it's different than it would have been back in the day. Right. How do you feel about it, and how do you feel about how fast the industry moves, especially in regards of like social media?
To be honest, I don't really know. What I do know is like I don't like how fast food this industry is. Yeah. And like just so like bleh, like anybody and anything can just blow, and they're not like, they don't got the passion or drive behind it just because it's like trendy. I don't know, even though like there's these platforms set up for our like success, like TikTok and shit like that. Like I don't like how fast food it is. Like I don't know, like I don't really fuck with like it's like it's a duality thing for me, because I really fuck with a lot of people getting into being creative and like expressing themselves and not really sticking to the standard of having to do a 9-to-5 job and stuff like that. But like not everybody has to make music. Not everybody has to be a content creator. You feel me? Like not everybody has to do that. Like there's a lot of people who are just doing it to do it because they see other people being successful at it and like not passionate about it. And like those people are the ones blowing up and like getting money and getting stuff. And I'm not saying they don't deserve it, because I don't know what their life looks like, but it's just like it's bullshit to me. And I don't know, like I feel like this industry, like it's always evolving, you know, so it may look different in a year, 5 years, 10 years down the line. But as of right now, like I'm not really rocking with it. A lot of people encourage me like, yo, use TikTok or like do this, and it's like I understand it's a tool that I can use, but I want to, until I find a way where I can approach it and it's different. I don't see how it's valuable to me, because I can make some dope. I could use 2 weeks out of my time to make some dope content for TikTok, and that's time that is lost, because once I put it up, who's guaranteed that it's gonna do anything? Like, you know what I mean? Just for
so weird.
Like just because it might, like, you know, it might go viral. Okay, what's going viral gonna do to me? Yeah, it might bring like these industry people come to me, but are these industry people gonna have my best interest in mind? I'm just another number to them. They're probably just gonna try to give me some bullshit ass deal, whether it's distro pub or record, and they're gonna take my money, and I'm gonna be a slave to them for a little bit of my life. If it's gonna take more time to be intentional and build this from the ground up and be independent and be impactful in the communities that help me, so be it. I'll take that. But like I'm not trying to be no industry baby where it's like I don't really care for the fame and stuff. Like if I can create my legacy like over time and organically, like that's what I've been doing, and it's been working for me. So
exactly.
Those are my thoughts. I don't have too much to say on the industry because I'm not in it yet. Or I'm not in it at the moment, so I'm just speaking, and this is just all from like my personal like external opinion. So like that's just how I
agree
feel.
Though it's very overstimulating at times and like
and oversaturated.
Complete.
That's my next
really
word.
Good word.
Yeah.
Oversaturated is true. Definitely comes from TikTok.
Yeah.
Like,
Everybody's attention span is like so much shorter. You just constantly need to be like consuming something, and that's where it loses value.
Yeah.
And everything is oversaturated. Like
and I
said.
know
Yeah, exactly.
And I know, and this isn't like sound cocky or anything. I know I'm valuable, and I know I'm bigger than just 30 seconds of someone's time. And I know I have a lot more to contribute, and I know I have a lot more to say, and I want to impact in a bigger way. So.
Yeah. You don't want to be that 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be known as, oh, you're that girl from TikTok.
Yeah.
No, like, oh, you're that girl that your story blew in like 2 years, like, and you did that yourself. Like,
Put in the work, for real.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's how I feel about the industry.
Is that, would you say, like one of your biggest pet peeves about the industry, or what is your biggest pet peeve?
Yeah, my biggest pet peeve is that, like, just how, like, it's just a whole bunch of, and excuse me, like, it's just a whole bunch of bullshit, to be honest. And I'm not gonna name drop any artists, but there's a couple artists right now that people are raving over, and it's just like, you know, I can see they're marketable, yes, but like they ain't gonna last long, and I don't really care for them. Also, I feel like a pet peeve, just people doing this just to do it.
Yeah.
And like,
Not
yeah, like
having the
that's my
passion.
biggest pet peeve with this, honestly. And like also like people having expectations of me, like, oh, like you should do this type of music, or you should do this. I can hear you doing this, or like, yeah, but that's not what I want to do. So I appreciate like you can see me in this light, but like respectfully, like I ain't asked for your opinion.
Yep.
You gonna get what you get. Like, this ain't Burger King. Like, you gonna have it your way. You feel me? Like,
Literally.
I'm like, my biggest pet peeve is people look at me as a, like, I understand that I am my brand. I don't have a product that I'm selling. You feel me? I am the product. So it's like, people feel like they can ask anything of me, or like, I'm just something to them. My biggest pet peeve is like I said, like, I don't know, I can identify, but there's a lot of people who just want to be around me or work with me because of what they'll be able to gain from it. Like, I'm something to them. I'm not a person.
Yeah.
I'm not human. Like, I'm a ticket out, or like, I'm a resource. I'm a connection. Like, anything besides like a person. Like, you feel me? Like, that's one of my biggest pet peeves, and trying to like navigate that, because like I know I'm gonna have to work with people and do things like that, but I want to work with the right people. Like, I'm not just an object.
Yeah, and
you
you
know?
want to make meaningful connections.
Hell yeah. And also being a woman, like, also, and us being objectified, like, already, like, I feel like a lot of people don't think about that. Like, so
No, they don't.
yeah, like those are my biggest pet peeves. I don't have a lot, but
No, well said.
Well said.
yeah.
How do you deal with stress and anxiety that comes to doing everything that you do?
Shit. I'm still learning how to deal with it. I feel like the biggest thing is like I said, my faith. I go to church every Sunday. At least I try to.
Good for you.
I've been doing that. In March it'll be 2 years now.
Word.
I ain't have no type of background in religion or anything. I didn't grow up in the church. I solely took that journey for myself. So, like I said, God plays a big role in my life. Aside from that, you know, connecting with my friends and my family that are also going through similar things, and just getting to vocalize myself to them, and just have people like be able to resonate with what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I don't really have all of my time goes to this music stuff. So I want to be able to go back. I used to paint. I used to like draw.
Yep.
I used to go roller skating every Tuesday. Like, I don't really dive into those like other mediums of things that I enjoy doing, and I want to get back to that. I feel like I'm just focused. I'm either focused on this music stuff and trying to make it sustainable, or like just trying to figure out how to live. Like, and I feel like those coincide, because it's like this is what my time's going to. I'm trying to make money off of to survive. Like, so it's like I'm still trying to figure out ways to deal with my stress and just cope.
Yeah.
Still learning.
It's definitely important though to dive back into those creative outlets.
Because it's easy to, like, if you're super focused on something, especially if it's like your work and like you want to dedicate your life to it, it's easy to not really want to relax or like, or not even not want to, but not feel like you have time to like relax or like indulge in the hobbies that you used to. But it is definitely important like to remember that like you deserve to also do those things. Yeah. So that's like a good thing to keep in mind, I feel like.
Yeah.
Have you gotten to travel a lot since you've been like modeling and making music and all these things? Tell me a little bit about your experiences traveling.
So I've gotten to travel a little bit. I haven't gotten to travel as much as I would like to. I haven't, like, outside of this, I haven't traveled a lot. Most of my time just been spent in this little, like, bubble of, like, the East Coast, like, up north in the East Coast. Like, I've been to, like, surrounding states, like, well, Massachusetts,
like New England
New York,
area.
the New England area. With music, I've gotten to travel to New York to perform. I performed at Sounds of Brazil, SOBs, and it was dope. And then I got to fly across the country for the first time. I went to California for the first time ever. I've always wanted to go to Cali, not for like the city or LA or anything like that, but like I believe the terrain of the state is so beautiful.
It is.
I love sunshine. I love warmth. Like when I went there, like the sun. I always say this, but the sun rose and set beautifully. Like every
it's
time,
so
like,
different.
You know,
so different.
And like it was just an amazing experience. I want to travel more. Like, I want to travel a lot more. Like, I want to go to like Atlanta. I want to go to Florida.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever been to Florida?
Once in 2020 during the pandemic when.
Mm-hmm. When I wasn't,
we were there.
Yeah, we were there too. It's okay.
Yeah. When the PUA was busting, I got to go there for the first time. You know,
on the low,
a little
don't say
weekend
not too
trip,
much.
You know, I wanna go outside of the country too.
For
like,
sure. Yeah.
I wanna go to Germany. Yeah, I want to go to Japan.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Like I want to go to there's this island called Montserrat. That's where my family's from. I want to go to Anguilla over there too. But I want to travel the world. I want to experience life. The way my family was raised, my parents was raised, like they lived in a way where like their circumstances determine how they were living their life. Like I don't want my life to live me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to live my life
and
do what I want to do, like full throttle.
Yeah.
So I've only got to travel a little bit, and hopefully this year
I get
to travel.
Yeah,
you got it.
Real. How do you feel about the New England scene? You're very involved in it, so.
Like in what way?
Just like about like the content that's coming out of here, like the way people are. You think they're supportive or not?
Okay.
Yeah,
I think so I know the scene that I'm in, that I'm directly like involved in, is extremely like supportive and like creative and pushing out like quality content. New England, I don't know. That's what I'm saying, like, because I'm still getting exposed to new artists all the time, so I don't want to speak on things that I don't really know. I don't ever speak on things I don't know. If I do, it's from my own opinion. But yeah, the scene that I'm involved with is extremely supportive, and it's continuously growing, and it's dope to see like all the connections being made, like from city to city, like, you know, like even from Boston to everybody on the outer part of the cities and things like that. So, I think there's a lot of great artists coming out, and I know that I'm recognized, and I'm not saying like a lot, but I know I'm not the only one that's gonna blow. Yeah, I can't be the only one that's gonna blow. Like all of us has to be putting in work and like have something to show for, because it's like, you know, we're not like in Atlanta or like in New York where you see like all these artists like coming out at least yet.
Yeah.
So I'm anticipating for the blow.
Yeah.
Like the way that I can describe the scene, and you can look back at old like my Instagram videos, like lives and shit like that. The way that I feel about the scene right now is like a teapot. on the stove.
Yeah.
When like you're starting to boil the water and it's starting at first like it's starting it's getting closer and closer to the whistle, like to where it's like really like going on. So I'm
getting
just,
your attention.
So I'm waiting for the blow, waiting for the whistle.
Yeah,
For real.
Yeah.
Word. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the episode, but I wanted to give you another chance to, you know, kind of pay homage to the people that like inspire you in real life. So who are some of those people?
Yeah, shout out to my mom. Shout out to my dad, my older sister, my older brother, like my family, like overall, like my aunts, my grandmothers, my uncles, like are some of my biggest supporters, my biggest fans. They mean so much to me. They've been pushing me through my journey. Shout out to my manager, my team. Shout out Thrill, no bullshit, gang shit, no lame shit. That the community and everybody, Colors, Breach Mob, KOBK, they've been my family, like outside of my blood, and they've entered me into this community and showed me nothing but love. So that means a lot. Shout out to Ideal, Kimi, Tasia, T, freaking, let's see, who else? Did I say Kimi? Yeah, like our whole family, like T, Quentin, all my boys, Trey, like all my
everybody
people,
getting
like
their
everybody
flowers.
who yeah, like Lib. Shout out to everybody, like I mean a lot. I couldn't do this without them, like for real. So yeah, shout out to y'all. I love y'all. Y'all mean so much to me. Shout out them.
Shout out them.
Shout out them
boys. And
Well,
girls.
yeah, so thank you so much for coming. This was great. We really enjoyed having you. This was a really good conversation.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
for
me.
keeping it real.
I appreciate you.
And you know, even our first little tear up on the pod, I love to have like these real conversations. Like it means a lot.
Thank you.
Very
I
important.
appreciate y'all.
Yeah, of
Appreciate
course.
you.
Y'all tune in, like really,
Tag
really
your
impactful stuff.
Tag
Oh.
your socials.
So y'all got to know me. My name is Key. If you're looking for me, you can find me on IG at Lil Rap at Kiwi Fruit. It's KEIWEI Fruit. That's on all platforms. It's on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter,
All that.
Snapchat. All that. Yeah, and if you're looking for me on all streaming platforms, all DSPs, it's Key, KEI. Type in any of the titles from the projects that you heard mentioned on this episode, and you can find me. And I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. It means so much, and y'all heard a little bit of my story. So
Yeah, I'm so glad you were able to share with us today.
For real.
I'm so
Thank
appreciative.
you so much.
No, thank you.
This
So
was
appreciative.
dope as fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Pink World. Shout out Key. We're out, and we'll see you next week.
Bitch, I'm going crazy. I be wildin' out. I'm concerned about just